Now, y'all know we had to talk about this. Social media has been hit by a shockwave after finding out popular influencer, motivational speaker, author, Brother Polite, aka Fraud, aka Child Molester, has been found guilty of abusing his girlfriend's 14-year-old daughter. Now, this man has been on social media giving advice, giving tips on how to live life, showing off all the money that he makes and all the women that he dates. Apparently, he's got 4 wives. He's got properties and all of these ways to help you make money. But according to this police report and the courts, he's been living a double life. You really cannot trust these social media influencers, so called motivational speakers, because half of them are living lies. And you really can't trust men around your daughters, especially as a single mother. If there's a man that's around your kid, you cannot trust that. Don't send them nowhere with no men. Don't They're not supposed to be spending any alone time. I don't care what the reason with any man in your life if it's not their dad. Now, according to police reports, Brother Unpolite was dating the mother of a 14-year-old girl who he asked if he could take her daughter to an after party at a club in Miami. After finding out the club had closed, he then took the teen to his hotel room, where he allegedly gave the teenager alcohol and drugs, and then proceeded to dance with her and fondle her. The report goes on to say that Brother Polite tried to force the teen to perform oral on him. Then the teen allegedly passed out and woke up to him trying to make her throw up. The report states that the girl's mother found her intoxicated and possibly on drugs with severe swelling on her mouth and lips. And that's when the mother called the police.
Y'all heard this crazy story that I called a grown woman and asked if I could take her 14-year-old girl to a party. And y'all believe that bullshit. But guess what my text messages say? My text messages say she asked me to take her daughter out to a party after 2 a.m. in the morning, and I vehemently declined because I said, what the hell do I look like as a grown man taking a 14-year-old that obviously looks like a minor to a party? Y'all don't know that, though.
Now, it doesn't matter who asked who. At 2 o'clock in the morning, why would a grown man be picking up a 14-year-old child to be taking them to a after party at a club in the first place?
Oh, hold on, let's reverse. Do you know that we broke up that same day, and later within a day, within 24 hours, she filed a criminal complaint? Let's add some more color to it. Do you know that the same day that I broke up with her, in my text messages is proven she said she was going to destroy my life.
So you mean to tell me, as much sense as you supposed to have, you take a woman's child to the club that just broke up with you and told you she was going to ruin your life, and you still make the bad decision of picking up her 14-year-old daughter at 2 o'clock in the morning and taking her to a club that's closed, so you end up taking her to a hotel? Like I said, he's supposed to be smarter than this. And honestly, both him and the mother failed this 14-year-old child. But at the end of the day, he thought he was going to beat these charges and even went all across his social media pages bragging about how the charges got dropped, which is what was mainly the shocker to social media. He even posted a video of himself celebrating his win and officially announced that the charges had been dropped, which was not the case. After prosecutors were able to prove, they found traces of his DNA on the 14-year-old's scarf and clothes. He was sentenced to 7 years in prison for sexual battery of a child, along with 10 years of probation.
You told me that you wanted to have a one-on-one talk with her about loving and respecting me as a great mother that I was and am. And I actually believed you. I believed that you were going to bring her right back. I thought you were going to have this trusting conversation with her that you promised me. Her and I both trusted you. For a grown man to violate a child who trusted him, you should be ashamed of yourself. You plotted on me and my little girl. The entire time you knew what you planned to do. Isolate, intoxicate, then violate my baby. Shame on you. I trusted you to bring her right back. You were supposed to bring her back the same way that you took her. Instead, you drugged her and took advantage of her. You sexually abused her. You forced alcohol down her throat. You then forced her to see things that no child should ever have to see. You forced her to feel things that no child should have to feel. You forced her to accept violence that no child should ever have to endure. You forced drugs in her that no human should ever even ingest. She's my child. My baby. How could you? How could you? You could have killed her with all the drugs that were found in her system.
Damn.
And you thought your master plan was mapped out perfectly, huh? You thought I'd be dumb enough to believe you over my child. And you thought that money would blind me. You thought I was going to be so blinded that I wouldn't notice when you returned her with bruises all over her body and her mouth busted, uncontrollably shaking. Absolutely not. And although you executed your plan and you got what you wanted those couple of hours, you actually failed. Because look where you're at right now. You have created a lifetime of trauma for my daughter and I. Before you, we never knew evil existed. You brought so much evil into our lives that early morning. And I'll never forget. I called you like 50 times and you wouldn't answer me. And I called her too, but you took her phone. You drugged my baby and you gave her no way to seek help. You left me no way to contact her or even know where she was. I get physically sick now whenever I'm away from my daughter because of you.